Hello, welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. So, in the past, I've done a story about Vincent the Chin Gigante, former mob boss for the Genovese crime family, who, like John Gotti before him, died in Springfield. Well, I had told you that I had many of you know that I was a member of the Dirty White Boys while I was in the federal system for a number of years, and that I had a brother that was at Springfield Federal Medical Center in Springfield, Missouri, with the Chin. I talked about it openly before. I had said that he was, in his dying days, that he was having his diapers changed by a homosexual named Carl. Well, tonight I talked to that person. I think I've said his name in the past before. I'm not going to now, and the reason is because he's got a prominent job. Trust me, he wants to come on and talk about a lot of different things, and he might in the future, but now's not the time. But everything I'm about to say, we confirmed tonight, and I just want to be very clear about that. My friend, my bro, he went to Springfield in 2004. In 2004 and 5 for an ACL knee replacement, and he tore his ACL in Leavenworth playing softball. Years later, he ends up in Springfield, and they put him in the cell with the Chin. In Springfield, there's 2-man cells, 3-man cells. It just depends where you're at. Well, in the beginning, at first, he like me, we're from California. He can care less about mob figures or who's a boss or who's what. Doesn't impress him. He's put in the cell. He was nice for a few days. One of the first problems they started having was the heat. The Chin wanted the temperature at extremely high. I think he wanted it on 80. My friend wanted it, 68, whatever the deal was. And there was also another guy in the room by the name of Carl Swope, S-W-O-P-E. Carl Swope was a flaming, flamboyant homosexual who took care of the Chin, including changing his diapers and wiping his ass. And I've helped people in that situation before, but that's what it was. My friend told me that, like on the street, the Chin was playing the part of kind of half-ass crazy, and he believed that he was purposely and intentionally shitting and pissing on himself for a while. Maybe at some point it became something different, but that he believed that was part of the game he was playing in the joint. Maybe he was aiming for compassion pleas. I don't know. We don't know. At first, what he would do, the Chin, is every time he went to commissary, he would ask my friend if he wanted an ice cream or whatever. Yeah, my friend sometimes would say yes. He had a little bit of money from the street, not, rich by no means, but his people sent him money every once in a while, so it's not like he was needy, but the Chin would offer, and Carl would do his commissary sheet for him, Carl Swope. Well, what ends up happening is, as the time progressed, you get on each other's nerves in the cell, and the Chin was growing and growing on my friend. He was getting on his last nerve. Then there became a TV thing where they were playing little games with the TV. Everybody had a set time where they watched programs. So the Chin started, of course, he didn't do it himself. He'd have Carl change the channel, and it started getting on my friend's nerve. Well, my friend ends up just bulldogging it, just said fuck that, because he didn't really like the Chin in any way, and just started basically putting the temperature on 68 because he felt he was being disrespected, and putting the TV on whenever he wanted, and made it clear that that's what he was going to do. Some of you guys might say that to do something like that to an old man is wrong. My friend was in his 30s, 6'2", 3", and just yoked out, big boy. The Chin was old. Well, the Chin was also somebody who was responsible for killing a lot of people, and was also supposed to be this tough mob boss guy. And I'm not saying he wasn't, but there's people that excuse these type of individuals when they get older, saying they're an old man. What are they supposed to do? I've heard that. People shot back at me that way. Carmine Persico didn't do that. He didn't die being extorted, getting his ass wiped by others that I know of. I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing, but my overall point in that is people put these mob figures up on a pedestal like they're like these gods, and I just want people to know that they're just people. Anyway, so here's what happens. Because of what was going on in the cell, the Chin turns to what my friend referred to as 4 goons that he did not think were actually made members of any families in New York, but were from New York. He called them nut swingers. That's what he called them. And he turned to them, and one of the bigger nut swingers pulled up on him when he was on the yard or going to the yard, and kind of like said, "Hey, the Chin's old," kind of pressed up on him. And my friend said, "Yeah." He said, "Give me $100 worth of commissary." And he's like, "What?" Long story short, he ends up getting commissary for the guy. The guy gives him commissary. My friend said, "Thanks." Kept doing what he was doing. Guy comes back to him from New York, says something again. My friend tells him to beat socks, beat feet, fuck off. Keeps doing what he's doing. At that point, because Chin and Carl, it was Carl that went to the goons for Chin. Every time he asked for an ice cream, or every time he asked if he needed an ice cream on store day, my friend then started just making him a list. So he didn't just take his shit. Like, let's say he was going for the store, I think the spending limit's like $300, let's say, for example. And I think they were going weekly. But he just told me this. This is 2 hours ago. So let's say he was going for $50 or $60 a week, okay? Let's just say, for example, he'd make him a list for 30. He just gave it. So instead of putting rice, he goes, "No, I need this. I need this." And every time the Chin got it for him. What does that call, people? It's called extortion. So here's what also then happens. After the goons, or the nut swingers, as my friend called them, couldn't get him out of the cell. And Carl, who was the flamboyant homosexual who's taking care of the diaper duty, after he couldn't do nothing with my friend, the Chin then turned to staff to try to get my friend out of the cell, who promptly told my friend that the Chin had said that he was being picked on and bullied by my friend. So what is that, people? The Chin, in his old age, in Springfield, was a rat. He was a rat. There's no way to spin that. Now, I have said before that people use the term rat and informant too much, and that is true. So if people if tell on something to get others arrested, that would be kind of like a rat or a Jimmy or whatever in my mind, okay? But when it comes to prison and institutional behavior, you do not go to cops to work out your other deals. That in prison is called ratting or snitching. And that's what the great Chin Gigante did in his dying days. That's what I want everybody to know. That's how I just want, and that is definitely 100% for kids that look up to these mob figures as these lords. Yes, he might have killed people. Yes, he did a lot of things, and he shook down neighborhoods and did all the stuff that a lot of the old mob guys do. But in the end, he was reduced to somebody who was having his ass wiped by a flamboyant homosexual and getting extorted and talking to law enforcement to try to work out his problems. Imagine that. So I just want to put that out there. So anyway, that's about it. Everybody have a great night. I will talk to you soon. Take care. I'm out.